Joining me now is Paul Theron from Vestact. He just said he was going to attack me. Please don't. Okay, possibly another round of quantitative easing.
Oh, okay. Serious. Oh,
Serious, yes. So more stimulus, persistent soft patches. This is the rhetoric
Big Ben
from
Bernanke. Things are looking good.
Things are, okay, I just told you that we might see more stimulus because things aren't looking good.
No,
but you read into it that it's looking good.
What he's saying is that, as everybody knows, the recovery is slow and unemployment levels don't seem to be going down. That's a persistent issue. The budget projections don't look so good. But he was indicating that there are plenty of options that the Fed still has, and people should relax and just get on with business and so on and so forth. Look, the markets seem to be liking it.
Absolutely.
Because it's the idea that more stimulative measures will come through. But across town in Washington, there's the big debate going on between the Republicans and the Democrats about the debt ceiling. So everybody is getting a little bit worried now because that's the 2nd of August. But then at the other hand, 10-year treasuries are trading at record lows.
Well, this is the thing. I actually heard that the real deadline is on the 22nd of July because they need to make a decision by the 22nd of July. So are they treading on dangerous territory? Because we know that they're going to hike it. So why are they stalling?
Well, I guess it's because nobody really wants to be the politician that is seen to have conceded in what is sort of like a game of chicken.
Yeah.
But of course, that taxes are going up in the US next year anyway because the Bush tax cuts that were extended by Obama won't be extended again. But Americans have amongst the lowest level of taxes in the world, and they also, as a percentage of GDP, contribute the lowest amount of taxes. So I don't think they've got anything to be complaining about. But Republicans are like,
I thought there was Greece that contributed the lowest amount of tax.
No, look, there are the tax rates, and then there are the taxes that people actually pay. That's,
Speaking of Greece, and the reason that Paul actually wanted to attack me before we started the interview, I said to you, if you were in Greece at this point and you had money in the bank in Greece, what would you do? What are you doing at the table? Please don't attack me.
And you were saying take the money out of the banks.
No,
That's ridiculous.
I said, what would you do? If you had a family to feed and you had certain, what would you do if you were afraid?
Look, these are euro deposits in banks that are of adequate credit quality that are backed up by the European Central Bank. So to tell people to withdraw money from the banks, that's like creating chaos and
I didn't tell anyone. I said,
and this is a very bad thing.
Would do.
When you start telling people to withdraw their deposits, then, those banks are tickets. Although I think, look, let's be frank. The Greek banks are already in severe trouble because their reserves are not adequate. So they're already being backstopped by the Europeans. So, it's already tickets. So if I had the money in those banks, I think I'd just be keeping my balance at a relatively low level. Equity market investments.
Would you be able to sleep on your mattress?
Well, presumably people's salaries are still being paid into these said banks, right? So, it's just business as usual.
So, speaking of soft patches and hard landings and soft landings, China's growth coming through at 9.5%.
Yeah, 9.5.
So higher than most anticipated.
Fantastic.
Yes, higher inflation, and we've seen an interest rate hike, but it's still doing well.
Yeah, very well. And, we're talking about an economy which is now much bigger than it was 5 years ago when we were getting so impressed with these 10% growth rates. So to be able to sustain it when they're as big as they are now is truly impressive. And we should all go down on our knees and thank the Chinese for their industriousness every day.
Is that why you've got dirty marks on your pants there?
Oh, no, look, I've been developing property at home, so it has been a little bit dusty.
So Bill Gross, and I've also been watching what he's been doing with his treasury holdings. Yes, PIMCO.
No one is interested in Bill Gross.
Can I tell you what he's been doing?
The worst kind of fund manager. You should never pay any attention to what he does.
Okay, well, he's buying US treasuries.
Yeah.
Again, after selling and buying again, and actually this has started to happen recently. So do you think it ties in with the whole notion of more quantitative easing,
I think
debt ceiling being hiked, so things
the problem is people think that people buy treasuries, government treasuries, because they're doing it in order to make money on the yield or on the bonds. But in truth, most people who buy, the vast majority of people who buy treasuries are doing it because they're looking for the income. They are a pension fund or they are, long-term, income generative asset themselves, like Mr. Gross's, unit trusts. So he has to buy them. What else is he going to do with the money?